So what's your liver doing today? We're not giving you enough food to run on. And so some of your fat cells are getting broken down to give the glucose that you need, but something else a little bit more sinister is being released. And that is the fat-soluble toxins that have been coming into our bodies over many years. Now this explains why your body odour might be a little worse than usual, why your breath might be a little worse than usual, why your what you're leaving in the toilet might have a worse odour than usual, because your fat cells, as they're getting broken down to give you that excess glucose or extra glucose that you need, the fat-soluble toxins are being released. They're back into the blood. The liver says, oh, not this guy again. The liver's about to wrap it up in fat and store it, and the liver says, oh, hang on, we're at Living Springs Retreat. We're receiving the nutrients necessary to break that down to a water-soluble state, because it can't be released in a fat-soluble state. So what your liver is doing is taking it through 3 phases. Phase 1 of the liver detox began yesterday on your first day of juicing. And in phase 1, your liver took this fat-soluble toxin and it broke it down to a metabolite. So what's a metabolite? Metabolite just really means the first stage of metabolism or breakdown. The first stage of breakdown, the metabolite is released. But this metabolite is highly volatile. This metabolite creates a lot of free radicals. This metabolite is highly toxic. In fact, in some instances, it creates a substance 100 times more toxic than it originally was, especially in the case of alcohol. And you might say, well, what's the liver doing? It's just created something far worse than it originally was. It's a process. It's just like when we clean the kitchen cupboards out, the kitchen looks 100 times worse than when you started. Or I'll give a guy illustration, when you clean the garden shed out, it looks 100 times messier than when you started. It's a process. Within 36 hours of starting the detox, phase 2 kicks in. And phase 2 basically comes to the rescue. In phase 2, the liver takes this highly toxic metabolite and joins it together with amino acids. The union of this highly toxic metabolite with the amino acids, in fact the scientific term is conjugated, basically joins it together like that. So the conjugation of the amino acids and the toxic metabolite releases the water-soluble state, or converts it to a water-soluble. And remember, as a water-soluble toxin, it can be easily released out of the body. So phase 3 happens in conjunction with phase 2. So in phase 3, the body takes the water-soluble state and it releases it out via your sweat glands. That's why your most important steam sauna is today, because you'll be releasing more water-soluble toxins than any other time of the week. It releases it out via your colon. So if you're not evacuating every day, please see the staff and they'll give you a little bit more of the colon tea. But also out via your kidneys, your urine. That's why it's vital that you ensure that these 3 organs of elimination are eliminating effectively. No use cleaning the house and leaving all the rubbish at the door. Make sure the eliminating organs are eliminating effectively, and that will ease any symptoms you may have on the detox.